What's going on, guys? This is Joe. We are here, as you can see, to open an Amonkhet pre-release kit. We are less than a week away from Hour of Devastation pre-release. We will obviously be opening product from that as well, so you should definitely stay tuned to the channel. But in honor of that, we had another one of these sitting around, so we are totally going to open that. Let's see what we get. Let's see if we can talk about making a deck out of this stuff, plus hopefully we get some sweet stuff. So if you have not seen a pre-release kit opening before, here's our Lazotep D20. There's other random insert things in here like the trials and things like that. But for now, we're just going to take this whole pack out. We're going to move it over to the side, and we're going to get into the opening itself. Let's zoom in so that everybody can see what's going on. Because we start, as we always do, with our promo, which is an Aftermath card in Mouth to Feed. As usual, if you've never seen a pre-release kit opening from us before, I'm not going to take it out of the packaging. I don't see a need. There's the foiling pattern. It's kind of hard with these in foil to like analyze the foiling pattern. The feed part looks cool. The mouth part's just okay. With the art being so small, it's kind of hard to enjoy the foiling pattern on these. But it's all right. I've seen worse, so we'll move that off to the side. And we have 6 packs, because that's how pre-release kits work. And we'll start with a Battlefield Scavenger pack. Pre-release kits are my favorite piece of sealed product. They usually have sweet stuff in them, so let's see if this one continues to not disappoint. We start with the Heckma Sentinels, Manticore of the Gauntlet, a Supply Caravan, Doom Dissenter, Ornery Kudu, Electrify, Those Who Serve, Slither Blade, Gift of Paradise, whoops, I skipped one, a Tockrop Elite, bad one to skip, it's a good card, Nest of Scarabs is our first uncommon, a Defiant Great Maw is the second, and a Cast Out, very nice, is the third, and our first rare or mythic out of the kit is... Wow, what a cool way to start with a god in Hazaret the Fervent. A very nice one too, especially in pre-release. This card did a lot of good work for me. So here's Hazaret the Fervent. Behind her we have just a mountain and a zombie token. That is not a bad way to start this kit. Speaking of red mythics, here is a Combat Celebrant pack. Hazaret the Fervent is a cool way to start, and I said it was our first rare mythic. Obviously we had the Mouth to Feed, but still. It's our first pack. Rare or mythic, as opposed to a promo. So we start with Forsake the Worldly in this second pack. Compelling Argument, Colossipede, a Scarab Feast, Slitherblade again, Innoketra's Name, Gust Walker, Blazing Volley, Tockrop Elite, Vizier of Remedies is our first uncommon, Angler Drake is the second, and Oncrop Crasher is the third, and our rare or mythic in this pack is... a Vizier of Many Faces. That's pretty cool. If we're trying to make a deck, I mean, it's double blue, and we already had single red, plus our Aftermath card as our promo was green. So we're kind of all over the place in terms of rares and mythics, but yeah, we'll have to see. Behind Vizier of Many Faces, we have a foil common in Spidery Grasp. Actually, pretty sweet. I like the outfit that the bird is wearing looks really nice, and just the background in general, a little bit darker I feel like than usual, just more accenting the bird, but again, the accents on its clothing look really nice in foil. So there's a foil Spidery Grasp. Behind that, a full art mountain, very nice, and an Anointer Priest token. That's pretty sweet. Let's move on to our next one. Okay, we have an Oketra pack. Oketra the True. We already have a god, but a second one would not be something I would complain about, because the more mythics, the better, right? We start with a Fanbearer. That's an amazing card. Cancel. Thresher Lizard. Whoops. Soul Stinger. Giant Spider. Emberhorn Minotaur. Cradle of the Accursed. Floodwaters. Stinging Shot. Wasteland Scorpion. Wow, cannot hold on to these cards today. Manglehorn is our first uncommon, not so good. Watchers of the Dead, also not so good, is our second. And Merciless Javelineer is the third. If you're in these two colors, it's good, but otherwise, yeah. And our next rare or mythic is... Wow. What are we going to do? What are we going to do in this kit now? This is a good problem to have. We have 2 mythics so far, a god and now a planeswalker in Liliana, Death's Majesty. What a great card. All right, behind Liliana we have a swamp and an ad card. That ruins the entire pack and I hate it now. I'm kidding. We have a Curator of Mysteries pack. This is awesome. What a great kit. I was a little upset after the promo being, just whatever, but I guess it had better stuff waiting for us inside. We have an Essence Scatter to start. Desert Celadon, Forsake the Worldly, Pouncing Cheetah, Wander in Death, Painted Bluffs, an Aven Initiate, a Gust Walker, very nice, Supernatural Stamina, Magma Spray, also nice, Hazoret's Monument is our first uncommon, Warfire Javelineer is the second, and Vizier of Deferment is the third. Our next rare or mythic is a Never to Return. Following Liliana, that's really good. Both double black, basically, spells. That's pretty sweet. Behind Never to Return, we have an island and a zombie token. We have 2 packs left. Battlefield Scavenger is on the first, and then we have an Honored Crop Captain on the last. Let's see what we get in here. Does it make our decision easier or more difficult? We have a Hieroglyphic Illumination, a Cartouche of Zeal. Is that literally our first cartouche, followed by now our second in Cartouche of Solidarity? Initiate's Companion, a Dune Beetle, a Blazing Volley, a Painful Lesson, Emberhorn Minotaur, Cradle of the Accursed, Floodwaters, Consuming Fervor is our first uncommon. This is good if you're aggressive. Open into Wonder is good in general. And Baleful Amit is amazing. Actually, my favorite card in the set, I think. And our rare or mythic is a Commit to Memory. Yeah, we are all over the place. We now have 2 black rare / mythics, 2 blue, a red, and a green. I'm sorry, yeah, a red and a green. That's rough. I mean, no white, which is nice, but yeah, there's a Commit to Memory. Behind Commit to Memory, just a Plains and a Punch-Out counter card. We are on to our last pack. Like I said, Honored Crop Captain on the front. This deck is going to be real difficult to build. But we start with an Anointer Priest, a Top-Crop Skirmisher, a Bloodlust Inciter, a Sacred Cat, an Unburden, a Quarry Hauler, a River Serpent, Unwavering Initiate, Sun-Scorched Desert, Splendid Agony, very nice removal, Battlefield Scavenger, we saw that guy on a lot of our pack arts, so our first uncommon. Open into Wonder again is our second, and another Baleful Amit is the third. That's insane. Pretty sure we're playing black. And our rare or mythic is a Cascading Cataracts, so basically nothing. This card is not good and limited. I don't even know if it's good and constructed, but here's a Cascading Cataracts. Behind that, we have just a Mountain and another Punch-Out card. So looking at our rares, I'm going to just leave this Cascading Cataracts on the side because we're not playing it. We have our 2 black in Never to Return and Liliana, which is really nice. We have our 2 blue with Commit to Memory and Vizier of Many Faces. And then, as I said, we have Hazoret the Fervent and a Mouth to Feed. I don't know that Mouth to Feed is good enough to push us into green. I think this stuff is good on its own. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can look at what we're working with here. So yeah, we've got these kind of as our things that should be our tent posts to kind of set us up. Plus, we know we have 2 Baleful Amits. I just saw that Splendid Agony. I don't know that we got any final rewards, which is kind of rough. We got this On-Crop Crasher in our uncommon slot. If we separate them by color pretty quickly, just in terms of looking at the red, black, and blue, we've got, all right, so we have Angler Drake, not a bad uncommon at all. Nest of Scarabs is okay in the right deck. I don't know that I've seen a ton of stuff for it, speaking of things for the Nest of Scarabs deck. We also have the Merciless Javelineer, which is red and black, but you get to discard cards and put counters on things. You kind of want a deck that cares more about discarding as well for this, but if you're aggressive, they also can't block. We have Hazoret's Monument if we're going red as well. Warfire Javelineer is usually for the blue-red spells deck, and I'm personally not a big fan of the blue-red spells deck, although we are looking at blue and red, so I'm not exactly sure. I'll leave it on the side as a maybe. If we're trying to be more aggressive, that's what Consuming Fervor wants to do. It just buffs your creature, and sure, it gets weaker in the coming turns, but you don't really care because you're just trying to win very soon after you put Consuming Fervor on something, or put them so far behind that it doesn't matter that the creature died. Speaking of red uncommons, we also have Battlefield Scavenger, which is just okay. It lets you loot whenever something exerts, which if you're a red deck, you're going to have creatures that exert because, for example, we have On-Crop Crasher as well. I love this card so much. Makes something unable to block, gets in for damage. Like the turn you play it because it has haste. So on turn 3, presumably they only have one creature or one small creature and one larger one that they would want to block with. And so you just put them on the back foot there. We already saw it. We have, in terms of black, double Baleful Amit, which is great. Like I said, I like this card a lot. It does work in the -1/-1 counter strategy, so Nested Scarabs is a possibility. We got double Open into Wonder as well. That card's great for trying to get some damage through, so it could work in the in a red-blue build that's not based on spells specifically. In terms of good commons in those colors, we've got... let me see if I can quickly go through these. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it looks like our red is really good. We've got things like Desert Ceradon, Magma Spray. I'll be showing you them in a second. Let's see. What else are we looking at here? There's not a ton left. Oh, and Electrify is awesome. Doom Dissenter is good. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely in red is really what I'm getting from this. I think we're going to be red-black here. Blue is not bad. It's got things like Aven Initiate. It's got things like Floodwaters. But our... and a Hieroglyphic Illumination. We could kind of use blue as our support color to draw more into our red. We've got Aven Initiate, Floodwaters to kind of back it up. We've got Open into Wonder as well. Open into Wonder is amazing. You just make all your crazy big red dudes unable to be blocked, and then you draw cards for it because it's blue. You got Angler Drake to bounce a big threat out of the way. Commit to Memory is nice. Vizier of Many Faces to copy either your best creature or, in general, the best creature on the field, which you want to be yours, but if it's not, you can copy your opponent's. But again, we've got, removal like Magma Spray, Electrify. We've got ways to get creatures in with a Cartouche of Zeal to be faster. We've got double Emberhorn Minotaur. We've got a Bloodlust Insider to play it early to give like an Emberhorn Minotaur haste and let it attack with Menace. We have a Desert Ceradon kind of for the top of our curve. It stinks that it's got 4 toughness, but we've got like a Manticore of the Gauntlet and a Thresher Lizard as well. So our creature base in red is amazing. Obviously, let's not forget Hazoret either. So it looks like we're going to be doing that, again, with On-Crop Crasher, Battlefield Scavenger, Consuming Fervor, and we can put in the Warfire Javelineer because we're doing blue, which means we're getting rid of black, which is a shame. Never be afraid if you open an amazing card like this, but you don't have the colors to back it up, which we kind of do, right? We kind of have stuff in black to back it up, but in terms of our commons, we had a Doom Dissenter and a Splendid Agony, which is not insane. I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in black. 2 of them are double black, so it's a little bit harder to splash, and they're the 2 that we would want to splash. So with all of this good playable stuff in red and all of this good playable stuff in blue, it looks like that's the direction that we would go in this deck. I'm going to leave you looking at, if I can find it, there we go, our Hazoret the Fervent and our Liliana, despite the fact that we're not playing them, at least the Liliana. This is, like I said, that's probably the deck that I would go with. I do not pretend to be the perfect deck builder, but please let us know what you thought of the opening of my analysis in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I have been Joe, this has been Geek for All, and as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.